Just Baseball Show. Today is Tuesday, May 7th. Happy birthday, Mom. I
Oh,
hope you're having a great day.
thank
Jack, Peter, Just Baseball Show. Peter, who's it brought to you by?
BetMGM, the king of sports books. All you got to do, we're going to download the BetMGM app, whether that be on iOS or Android, and we're going to use code JustBaseball when we deposit. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. So let's say you want to bet on a game. It's minus 110. You
Sure.
put down $100. If you lose, you get $100 back in bonus bets. If you win, nothing happens. And that goes all the way up to a first bet offer up to 1,500. And it's a great time to take advantage of it because I can't win a bet for shit. And I suck, Jack. I suck, but it's going to be okay because I'm going to go on another heater right now. But I am a little on edge because I suck. I suck.
So I came through radiating all this positivity and love towards my mother, and here you are talking about how you suck at betting. Can we turn the frown upside down and can you wish Adrian McMullen a happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Miss McMullen. I'm sorry I suck at gambling.
So we're going to talk about the Rookie of the Year odds based on the Wyatt Langford injury. Langford likely to miss 3-4 weeks, which sucks. And it's been a unique case in both Rookie of the Year races. The AL Rookie of the Year race, the front runners have been very underwhelming. And in the National League, we've got guys that were not necessarily expected to be at the top of the race that are now at the top of the race. So I thought that was a fun race to check in on. And of course, we've got MGM odds for that. Saw a report from Ken Rosenthal about Luis Arraez that I found kind of interesting. And I just want to hit on that for a moment. And then we're going to do a little draft type thing. We're going to draft our ultimate staff to get us through the All Star break. 5 starting pitchers, 2 relievers to get us through the break. So it is accounting for star power for sure, but it's also accounting for what have you done for me for 6, 7 turns through the rotation, and what are you going to do through mid July? I'm very excited for this.
When you pose this, I got so excited. I love a good draft. And then we're going to be posting the graphics on our social media pages, whether that be on Twitter at justbb_media or on our Instagram at justbaseballshow. And for all those watching on YouTube, let us know who you think wins. But on Instagram and Twitter, we're going to be posting a poll to see who wins. And of course, I'm going to beat the shit out of Jack because I do every single time we do these drafts. Arup, Jack, they all could get it, and they all lose every time, and I'm excited to keep my winning streak alive, Jack.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about Wyatt Langford here real quick.
Real quick
Wyatt
though,
Langford.
I need this one because, like I said, I suck at gambling.
Okay,
I need
yeah,
it.
true.
It's for me.
Actually, we can't talk about Wyatt Langford real quick because you said you have a Mason Black story. What is that Mason Black story?
Real quick. So before we press the record button, I was watching Mason Black's first start against the Philadelphia Phillies. And on the broadcast, they were interviewing his parents. And I just thought it was a really cool story because they were talking to both his mom and his dad, both Phillies fans. But now, of course, their son is on the San Francisco Giants, but they're facing the Phillies against Zach Wheeler. So the parents were asked to describe the feeling, and they just couldn't. They just, their mouths were open and they just kept saying, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And then just the cherry on top of the sundae strikes out Bryce Harper. So they're talking to his dad. What is his reaction to facing his favorite team? And he said, if I were to write the script and my son is facing Zach Wheeler and striking out Bryce Harper, I wouldn't believe it. And they said I couldn't believe it 10 to 15 times in a 2-minute segment. And I just thought to myself, that is the coolest thing because if I ever had a child and they're making their debut and striking out Aaron Judge facing off against Garrett Cole, I would have the same reaction. So I just thought that was a really cool thing that I was hearing on the
I
broadcast.
I love those conversations. Also, shout out Scranton native making his debut in Philly. Went to Lehigh, Mason Black. We talked about him on yesterday's show. Also saw Max Kranick on his Instagram story is there supporting his guy Mason Black, who he grew up with in the Scranton area. So that was awesome to see Max Kranick, who is he was picked up by the Mets. I think he is rehabbing right now. He made his way back from TJ last year. So shout out Mason Black and the entire friend group from the Scranton area, the Electric City.
Mhm.
Um, did you happen to see the interview with Tyler Black's parents when Tyler Black made his debut in Milwaukee?
No, but tell me
Tyler
about it.
Black had a multi-hit day. Tyler Black, I think he's from Mississauga, Ontario. He's from Ontario. And he's got a multi-hit day. He singles into center. They're talking to his dad, Sophia Minert, who does a great job on the Brewers telecasts. And Tyler Black's dad pretty much calls the single. He's like, "That's a base hit for my boy, Tyler Black." And he's nearly crying. He's welling up. And he says, "We're gonna go start drinking heavily." It's like, good for you, Mr. Black. I hope you really enjoy your night.
It's probably the most nervous these parents have ever been in their entire lives. I
Yeah.
mean, they're watching their kid go up against the best players in Major League Baseball and sitting them down, from Tyler Black, who's getting that base hit, down to Mason Black of the San Francisco Giants. Being a Phillies fan and you're striking out 2 in the first inning, including Bryce Harper, it's got to feel damn good.
It's got to feel damn good. Okay. Wyatt Langford goes down, grade 1 hamstring strain. He is set to miss 3 to 4 weeks. Number one, that sucks. I'm very sorry to hear about that. Wyatt was not off to the start that we were expecting out of camp. We know this guy is a damn good baseball player, and
Obviously.
he's going to be just fine when he comes back. I felt like he was just starting to really
I know.
get going, not heat up, but really get going, and his
Just look,
feet are wet.
I know what you're saying. Look better in the box. At least
Look
that's what I was saying from
comfortable.
his last couple of games. He just started to look like a major leaguer. And then normally when that comes, then the hits start to fall. And we
Yeah.
just got robbed of that so quickly. It sucks.
Him and Quan going down with a hamstring issue that's going to set him out a month on like the same day is so brutal.
Trey Turner going down too. It's
Yeah.
just like, damn it.
It's a tough eat, man. Welcome to baseball. This sport
Yeah.
stinks.
Sucks.
Having said that, Wyatt Langford was the guy that I think entered opening day with the best odds to win American League Rookie of the Year. Those odds have drastically shifted. Let's start with the AL, then let's go to the NL. What do the AL Rookie of the Year odds look like on BetMGM right now?
So right now on BetMGM, remember, use code JustBaseball if you want to bet on any of these. Colton Cowser is your leader in the clubhouse at plus 140. And to put that in perspective for people who don't really bet, $100 bet nets you $140 if you bet right now on Colton Cowser. So you put in $100, they take the $100, and then if Colton Cowser wins the Rookie of the Year, you get $240. That original $100 investment plus the additional $140. So that's what plus 140 means. And Wyatt Langford was plus 250 before he got injured. He was second. Right behind him was Evan Carter. Wyatt Langford fell from plus 250 to plus 2,500.
Oh,
which is a massive drop. So what the books are telling us, I mean, these guys have algorithms. There's a reason that Las Vegas is very shiny. There's a reason there's all these waterfalls. They know what they're talking about. And what these odds tell me is that Wyatt Langford is kind of out of the running, or at least they don't view him coming back in time. And if he does come back in time, they don't think it'll be enough for him to eventually win the Rookie of the Year. Now, the books have been wrong before, but the thing is, they're more right than anybody else in the history of anything. So when that moves like that, that's immediately what I start to think. Wyatt Langford's Rookie of the Year odds got 10 times worse. Not a little bit worse, 10 times worse.
Where do your eyes go on this? Because Cowser's obviously playing great right now. Do they go to a Wilyer Abreu in Boston?
You know what? Well, Colton Cowser is the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
I mean, he's playing really
obviously,
well.
Cowser
So,
should be like.
That's
yes.
where my mind goes. One name that is stuck, and they will not move off him, is Junior Caminero. He's still plus 1,200 and hasn't debuted yet. To put this in perspective, Kyle Manzardo, his odds just went way up to plus 2,500. He debuts on Monday as we're recording.
Yeah.
Joey Porfido, plus 2,500. Jackson Holiday, even though he already debuted, he's down to plus 3,000. They will not move off Junior Caminero. You know what that tells me? They think as soon as he's up with the Rays, he's going to go ballistic. That's what that tells me. Now, it could be wrong, but I'm an odds reader, and that's what the odds are telling me. But Wilyer Abreu is third right now at plus 600. Evan Carter is second at plus 300, and Junior Caminero is fourth. Like, that's what's crazy. He hasn't played a game yet.
So I went to Caminero's Instagram to pull up his Instagram story again, and I saw that he had an Instagram story that has now been deleted, but it was up for like 30 minutes, and it was just a video of him. I think it was like a double or a homer or something, and he just put the caption "Controla lo que puedes controlar," which is control what you can control. And it's like, I understand your frustration, man. And Caminero was hurt for a little bit. I think he missed a week and a half or so, 2 weeks with Durham, but he has been insane. He had a 3 game stretch with 4 homers, and like he was 7 for 11 with 4 homers in that stretch. There's nothing this guy needs to do in AAA ball anymore. So Caminero, get up, ball out, and you can make this rookie class all the more interesting. Because right now, I mean, I look at the list of guys. Cowser, Wilyer Abreu is an interesting name to me.
Definitely.
But then, like, Wenzel Perez is higher than he should be in any given year. Wenzel
I think
Perez
it's
in Detroit.
I think it's because of the run he's getting. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I bet on Parker Meadows, right? These were tiny sprinkles, but it was guys who are not Nolan Shanwell, another sprinkle of mine. Guys who are not super talented and not as good as some of the rookies that should be leading in odds, but they were way down there, but they have a lane to play. That's what they're doing with Wenzel Perez. But
How
that's why I
about,
can't believe Junior Caminero. Jack, let me put this in perspective even more. I
yeah,
bet Junior Caminero plus 1,600 preseason. He's plus 1,200. The odds are now worse that he hasn't played yet.
that's
I don't
crazy.
understand it. They must think that as soon as he debuts, he is going to be the man because that's the only way I can understand why the odds are getting worse. Like
I
he
mean,
should be way down there, but he's not.
play the percentages. Holiday wasn't the man. Carter wasn't the man. Langford wasn't the man. One of them's bound to be the man, and
That's
it
true.
might be Caminero, might be Kobe Mayo if that ever comes calling, might be Heston Kjerstad. Somebody's gonna be the man at some point, and we just don't know which one is gonna be the man.
One
Cedar Rafaela is an
okay,
interesting one. Sorry, because
okay.
Rafaela, you mentioned run. Run is very important. Rafaela has been not good. He's hitting 202 with a 598 OPS entering play on Monday. Having said that, he's getting a lot of run. So do you entertain Cedar Rafaela at all?
I mean, it's tough because I watch Cedane Raphael play baseball and I don't see anything that makes me want to bet on him. But again, it's
Dude,
run. But have you seen anything from him so far that makes you think that guy's going to get hot at some point?
he's an electric factory.
I mean, yeah, he's talented, but
Having said that, he punches out all the time
all
and he
the
doesn't walk.
time. And he doesn't look like a big leaguer in the box right now, which doesn't mean he won't be a great big leaguer one day. But right now, they have a lane for him, so he's getting ABs, and they're just trying to see what they have. But right now, I don't see anything. Let me give you another one. So you mentioned Cedane Rafael at plus 4,000. What about Luis Gil at plus 6,000? He has showed
So,
everything so far. Nasty for the New York Yankees. Their 5 starter, the reason I think the odds are where they are is when Garrett Cole comes back, what do they do? Because they have 5 starters right now. Are they going to go with a 6-man rotation? What does that look like? I doubt it. But it does seem like Luis Gil would be the odd man out, even though he's been one of the Yankees' best pitchers. So plus 6,000 is something to kind of put in your back pocket, depending on what the Yankees decide to do when Cole comes back.
I will say the only guy that has beaten Luis Gil so far this year has been Luis Gil. And
Yes.
Luis Gil has beaten himself multiple times already this year. So who's to say that when Cole comes back, Gil is still balling out and he's working around these 4 or 5 walk outings?
He's just so nasty. And
It's
you're so
gross.
right, though. The only person who could beat Luis Gil is Luis Gil. But think about it from a fan perspective. Wouldn't you rather your 5 starter be a Luis Gil guy? Because he could dominate so well that you win
And
the game.
depends how you look at baseball.
I know.
Like,
No, but I'm just thinking about your classic 5 starter, 5 and dive guy, probably doesn't throw all that hard, going to give up a couple runs, probably keep you in the ball game. Luis Gil's either going to give up 7 or he's going to throw a no hitter. And I like
anybody
that in my
that's
5 starter because I never know what's going to happen.
anybody anybody that has listened to this show more than 4 times probably knows that I'm a closeted boomer. And
You are.
my boomer take here is that I'd rather have my 5 guy look like Bryce Elder than Luis Gil, where it's 89 and he gets through 7 innings because he got 105 on the ground to short 10 times. It's
No,
just more
screw
fun for me to
that.
watch personally, and I like the idea of the innings eater as the 5, but I have had a good time watching Luis Heel, so that kind of negates my boomer identity.
I live in the anxiety world, so
Yeah.
I'll give you all the Luis
So
Heel
I have enough
craziness.
of it in my personal life. I have enough of it internally that I don't need it on the hill for the New York Yankees.
That's fair. I guess that's fine. Should we talk National League?
National League, what's going on there? That is a way better race than the AL Rookie of the Year race right now.
Such a great race. The 3 leaders in the clubhouse are the 3 horses on the mound. You all know the names. Shota Imanaga of the Cubs. Downright amazing. Arguably the best pitcher in baseball right now. I mean, we watched him live. I know you talked with Aram about what he saw when we were at Citi Field watching him, and I couldn't agree with what Aram was saying more. The hitch. Like, I don't know how guys are on time with him. And then it's just a 92-mile-an-hour bullet that looks so much faster in person than 92. Like Jorge Lopez was throwing 98. It looks like that. So
That's
Shota
cool.
Imanaga deservingly is the favorite. But Yamamoto ain't far behind at plus 350. And he's been pitching really, really well as of late. That is a great race. But then the third horseman, Jared Jones of the Pittsburgh Pirates, absolute dog, dominated the Rockies. I mean, just put them in his back pocket and said, "You guys ain't touching shit." I only saw 1 hit. I think the stat line was it 1
There was
hit?
1 hit.
1 hit. I mean, domination. I also took Pirates first 5. Pirates couldn't score off Austin Gomber. It's not about me, but damn it, score off Austin Gomber, please. Plus 700. Michael Busch. Thought his odds would be higher. He's been raking. I mean, I know lately it hasn't been as strong, but still, thought it'd be a little bit higher.
When you got 3 arms going like that, I understand when 4 kind of falls to the wayside.
I understand, but he's also a hitter, and it's easier for hitters to win this position. That's why, like, plus 700, is he twice as unlikely as Yamamoto?
Maybe.
Maybe. That might
I
be
think there's a
accurate.
huge gap between the 3 arms and the rest of the bats, the rest of the field.
There's 2 players BetMGM will not move off of, even though they have not debuted. Junior Caminero in the American League, and I'm sure you can guess who it is in the National League.
Yep.
Paul Skeens. They will not move off him. His odds have also gotten worse, and he has not played in a game yet. And then rounding out this kind of cluster, Andy Pages, who, I mean, are you kidding me, Dodgers?
That's the
You
guy.
just spawned another
No,
dude who's
he's
hitting.
not spawned. We've
No, I
known
know.
about Pages since 2021, and I don't want it to get it twisted because, hey, listen, and I'm not calling you out for this because there are so many baseball fans that are thinking the same exact thing as you. Who's this 8-hitter that they just called up? This Pages kid? No, his name's Andy Pages, and he's awesome. And he
No,
should be valued if the arms fall off.
I'm more, yes, you're 100% right. I don't want my words to get misconstrued. The reason I brought it up is the Dodgers are coming off a sweep of the Braves. And then
How
they
about that
also
for a
have this.
statement, huh?
Oh, I mean, tough for Dodger hater narratives. It's real tough out here. I mean, what are we supposed to hate on?
Nothing. You
Nothing.
can't.
I don't know what. I mean, when James Paxton throws like 6 shutty, I mean, he did give up that home run to Marcell Ozuna, but what am I supposed to say? I can't say shit. So Dodgers, you just shut me the hell up for my faux outrage. But what I was saying is the fact that they have such an amazing team, and then they still have a farm system that can produce legitimate big leaguers is unfair. It's just unfair. So that's what I was supposed to say.
They don't really give those guys shots. Right? Bush didn't get his shot last year. Miguel Vargas got run. He failed. He might not get another shot. We'll see if Vargas is still a Dodger at the trade deadline. But a guy like Pages, it takes the situation being fruitful for him to get run and prove that he can be an everyday Dodger. And that was the same deal with Cody Bellinger, man. He was not silver spooned into that lineup. None of those guys that are homegrown talents for the LA Dodgers, and you know it all too well as a Yankee fan, too. A team that doesn't rebuild never has a silver spoon lineup filler, never has a top prospect come in and it's like, hey, everyday job is yours now.
Mm-hmm.
It took a situation inviting Jason Dominguez to the big leagues last year for Jason Dominguez to get to the big leagues. Pages had to ball out in OKC for 3 weeks after balling out in spring training. I mean, when you shove yourself into the Dodger plans, James Outman did it last year. Andy Pages is doing it this year. You know you've got somebody special on your hands.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because it's one thing to break camp with a team, another thing to be in the starting lineup consistently. Imagine how well you have to hit in AAA to like guarantee yourself a spot
You're
in
a
the
Dodger.
Dodgers
You're an
lineup.
everyday Dodger.
Yeah, so he well deserves to be up here with the best of them. Jackson Merrill again at plus 1,000.
Did you get in on Jared Jones?
No,
We
and I
talked
hate
about
myself.
him in preseason.
I know.
What was he? 8,000?
It was plus like 6,600, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, in New York, I can't bet on rookie of the year stuff. No books offer. It's not just even a BetMGM thing. The awards are just not available. So when we did our show, I took the train to New Jersey to put my bets in. And then when we came back, we did the show and I found out that you like Jared Jones. And I'm like, shit, make sure everybody bets that. But I couldn't because I'm in New York. And I'm still so upset because that was such a good bet. And you've done it before, you sneaky bastard, with Jonathan India, one of the greatest calls in the history of our show, when he was plus like, I don't even remember the odds. Do you remember what the odds were? They were easily plus 7,000, plus 7,500 for Jonathan India that year.
4,400, I think. They weren't that crazy.
I think it was more.
I'm not
I think it was over, whatever, but you've had some incredible calls. Two fallers, major fallers. Jung-Hoo Lee was plus 800. Now he's plus 1,800. He has not performed well for the Giants. And Jackson Chourio, one of the favorites, down to plus 2,200 with his 617 OPS, slashing 219, 265, 352. The home runs and the stolen bases have been there, but the slash line hasn't. I just find it interesting that they dropped him that much. Yeah, he looks a little bit overmatched.
He looks young, man. And
yeah.
I think they're realizing that the defense is not elite by any stretch. And, you know, that's where we're at here.
Yeah. And then you got Pete Armstrong, Mason Wynn, Jacob Young of the Nationals, and another
Jacob
guy that
Young is swiping 1 billion bags right now.
He's a beast. And for the Nationals, another name they won't move off of. Another National. Just in case James Wood comes up, BetMGM's ready. That's all they're doing. They're just getting ready for James Wood, Paul Skeens, and Junior Caminero. You can tell by the odds, those are their guys.
Cool. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
One more thing before we get to our ultimate staff building. Saw a report from Ken Rosenthal. It was in one of his athletic roundups based on the Luis Arraez deal. And we broke down the Luis Arraez deal on yesterday's show. But he reported that the Royals made contact with the Marlins in regards to Luis Arraez, but talks never got past the preliminary stages. Okay, that's fine. You could say, Jack, why are you bringing this up on the podcast? If it didn't happen and talks didn't even get past a phone call, hey, we're interested. I'm bringing it up because that's not the Royals. Welcome to the new version of Royals baseball, where they're willing to call on a guy in ARB2. I saw that and I said, really? I'm interested in this. They don't have a great system, but I think they're willing to move from that system if it's going to make the big club better. And we've seen the big club be exciting. Seth Lugo looks awesome. Again, wouldn't you know it? Everybody in that rotation looks good, man. They've got, the 5th best ERA in all of baseball as a staff. As a rotation, the 5th best ERA in all of Major League Baseball. But, dude, they're going to look for help in that lineup. They didn't – I really don't think they have the assets to match what San Diego just gave Miami. And I think you should come away from listening to that Monday show thinking that San Diego gave up a good bit to go get Luis Arraez. But the fact that they were willing to even entertain buying in May is impressive to me. Good on you guys.
I'm excited. Royals fans should be excited. The fact that you're already hearing rumblings, remember, it's May 6th today. You're hearing this on May 7th, and they're already active in the market, and it makes total sense. Strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
And the iron is hot as shit right now in Kansas City because the rotation looks great. I would love if they added a bullpen arm or 2 or 3. Like, they need some bullpen help. But offensively, when you got Bobby Witt Jr. doing his thing, and then you got Salvador Perez, who dipped his toes in the fountain of youth and is hitting a home run what seems like every day. Let's build on this. Let's get a guy like Luis Arias, who's going to add some depth into this lineup in his own, bat to ball type of way. Right? We got a lot of power in Vinny Pasquantino. Michael Garcia hits the piss out of the ball. Velasquez, like these guys, it's a lot of power bats. Let's get a contact guy. Let's get somebody on for Bobby Witt Jr. when he comes up to the plate. Moving Michael Garcia down into more of a power role where I think he is kind of destined to be, even though I know it hasn't shown up fully, but that's what I still think he is. So it makes total sense for them. And if I'm a Royals fan, I'm a little bit upset that we didn't get him. Obviously, you want a guy like Luis Arias. But this is the first time we're talking about the Royals being active in the trade market in a very long time. So if I'm a Royals fan right now, I'm titillated. I'm purely titillated.
I like the point that you made about him being a perfect addition to that lineup because he presents a wrinkle that they really don't have.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome to add that wrinkle. There are much cheaper options that are a subdued version of that wrinkle. Now, that is the best version of the template that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, we want a bat on ball, get on base guy. Well, you're looking for the guy that hit 350 last year.
Yeah, well, Steven Quad is in our division, so I don't think we're going to get him. How about Luis Arias?
Exactly. So, like, okay, we struck out on option 1. We struck out on option 2. We never really entertained option 1. We're entertaining option 2. We got kind of brushed aside. Now look for a guy that really doesn't, punch out much at all. And it feels like there are organizations that have those guys, limited impact shortly, but, you can go find a subdued version of Luis Arias somewhere else and maybe look for, a table setter like that.
Who on the Royals is even going to hit 290 this year outside of Bobby Witt?
Nobody.
Exactly.
I think 300 is going extinct at this point, and I know that we'll cycle back to that in 5-6 years.
I think Bobby's going to hit 300.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I hope so too. I mean, it's no guarantee.
300 is a very high bar now, and it feels like when I was, first really getting into the game when I was 7-8 years old, I would be sitting at US Cellular Field and I'd be looking at the center field scoreboard and I would know that I could see one batting average that started with a number 3. Now we don't really see that.
Not really. 280
That's
is
okay.
awesome. And it's
But-
like not that awesome. I mean, 280 is the new 300. Like you're in 280? Wow. It's like that's
okay.
not that good. I mean,
And
it's
that's why we've got all these people saying batting average doesn't matter, you morons. You know what? Facts. I'm in.
We got to get back to batting average and wins. You see what
Tell
Bo
me
Bichette's?
about Wobicon, man.
Did you see what Bo Bichette's favorite stat is?
No, what is it?
Batting average.
Oh, that's awesome. I
My
love
guy.
that. I felt like he was just a hits guy.
He
But
is a
that might
hits
be
guy.
Trey Turner. Trey Turner and Bo Bichette. Those strike me as the two guys that are like, I like hits. That's my number.
Can listeners of the Just Baseball show stop tagging me in Bo Bichette stuff, please? I know. I know.
Get
Like, I
wrecked.
know what you all are saying. It's every day. It's every day I get tagged in it doesn't look good for Peter. Oh, Peter, look at this. And it's like some random tweet about Bo Bichette like not having a hit today or a Savant page. Anything on the internet with Bo Bichette. Hey, Peter, you're an idiot. Thank you. I understand. And it really helps when I'm losing all my bets too. So thank you, everybody.
But you always reply with now do Vladdy, right?
Now do Josh Naylor. Now do Vladdy. Yes.
Now
I
do
have
Josh Naylor.
When you make as many takes as me, you're gonna be right on some of them, and I just hang on to those for dear life.
Keep spraying the board, baby. We love you for it.
Thank you.
We are going to do the ultimate staff draft here in a moment to get you through the All-Star break. But before that, you have to say something about our friends at Outlier.
Yes, I do. Ever wonder where we get all of our data? Well, Outlier is a sports betting decision assistant for aspiring intermediate and advanced sports bettors who understand that data is the foundation of a profitable sports betting strategy. Outlier pairs hyper-contextual and relevant sports data with available betting markets. And unlike traditional sports data sites like ESPN and Baseball Reference, Outlier organizes and visualizes data for easy comprehension, efficient decision-making, and immediate execution. Make sure to check out a first-of-its-kind strike zone heat maps and pitch arsenal roundups that allow you to quickly visualize pitcher and batter matchups all in one screen. It's available on iOS, desktop, and mobile browsers. Get your 7-day trial at outlier.bet. /just baseball. So when you go to download outlier.bet, that's the name of the app, use promo code just baseball and you will get a 7-day free trial. It's about $20 a month for a tier 1 subscription. So if you like it, you can continue on. If you don't, you can cancel. That's the joy of a free trial. I highly recommend downloading and at least trying it out. You can find that link in the episode description.
It is so cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
best.
I use it for every single sport, and I use it as a prep tool.
Yeah.
When I'm just thinking about what game to watch.
Because they just put all the data in one screen, and you're just like, this is everything I need.
Sure.
I love it.
And they put it in one screen, but then they also have the trends where it just says Bo Bichette's been really good over the last 10 games. Bo Bichette's been really bad over the last 10 games. It's like, okay, well, now I know something that I didn't beforehand.
Exactly. And they do that for every player in every sport. It's not just baseball. That's why it's the best, right? If you're an NBA fan, NFL, NHL, college basketball, literally every sport, they have trends, analysis, data on one screen for every single player. It's the best app ever. And I highly recommend downloading it. 7-day free trial in our episode description.
Okay. Ultimate staff draft. Here are the rules. This is a pitching staff that will get you through the All-Star break. We're going to go with 5 starters and 2 relievers. Yes, you enjoy star power. Yes, you enjoy the big names. But are you going to draft Garrett Cole or Clayton Kershaw to get you through the All-Star break? No, you're not, because they're really not going to be available through the All-Star break. So you need to take into account what has happened for the first month and week of the Major League Baseball season and who you really think can continue the hot trend. Jose Barrios has a 1.44 ERA through his first 6-7 turns through the rotation. Is Jose Barrios a guy that will be selected among the top 10 pitchers? I don't know. The peripherals don't look that great. Do you think he maybe downturns? Do you think a certain guy upticks? George Kirby really struggled. Castillo really struggled through their first 2-3 starts. Their season-long stats don't look awesome. But guess what? They've been nails their last 4 or 5 times out. So you need to account for that. From Tuesday, May 7th through the All-Star break, we're picking our team, and you have to tell us which one is better right now. Okay?
Can't wait.
I'll do heads or tails on Siri. You call it. What do you want?
Tails never fails. Give me tails.
Heads or tails? It's tails.
Tails never fails.
You see, I was texting Peter Apple and Mom.
Folks, you see that I already won the coin toss? Just saying. 1-0 so far.
Do you want the ball or do you want to defer? It's a snake.
I know I will take the ball because I need
You'll
this
take the
guy.
ball.
I need this guy at the top of my rotation.
Okay.
Who else but Zach Wheeler? Of course, it's Zach Wheeler, the number 1 overall pick, the best current pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's pitching right now against the Giants. Obviously, the score is 0-0 because he is dominating, and shout out Mason Black. But so far this season, he's got the 3rd best expected ERA in Major League Baseball. 7 starts, 7 quality starts. He's one of the league leaders in strikeouts, doesn't walk a soul, 1.91 ERA. Every single peripheral looks awesome. He's the man, Zach Wheeler, no doubt about it. Number 1 pick, has to be.
Okay, I'm going to go to the Southpaw. Where am I going?
Are you going to get both Southpaws right now? Because I know who you're probably thinking about.
I'm going with Tarek Skubal right now.
Damn
Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers is the 2nd pick, and that's my pitcher 1 right now. Tarek Skubal is one of those guys that is near the top of the ERA leaderboards that I am fully bought in on.
Yes.
Tarek Skubal at this point, through 7 starts, is 4-0 with a 1.90 ERA. In 42 2/3, opponents are hitting a $1.75. He's punched out 53. He's walked 6. Skubal got a no decision in a game where he punched out 12 and didn't walk anyone.
Damn right.
Come on, Tigers.
The Bronx Bombers. What do you expect?
Give me 1 solo homer, and I feel like I can get Tarek Skubal W number 5. Skubal is the perfect blend of I'm going to kick your ass stuff, and I'm not going to miss my spot. Yeah. He is precision and aggression married into one, and he's the best left-hander in baseball, I think, right now.
Have you seen his sinker? He's
Dude,
a sinker now.
There was a great article. Was it Tyler Kepner wrote it? I think
sure.
Tyler Kepner wrote it.
I was just watching the game, and I was like, that's a sinker. Like that's I didn't read an article about it. I just saw it
I
live
think
and
it
I
was
was like,
Tyler
holy
Kepner
shit.
that did kind of a dive on Tarek Skubal, and it was a great article.
Mm. So you got the next pick. It's a
Oh
snake
shit,
draft.
me again. So like I could go with Ranger, but I'm actually going to leave Ranger on the board for you.
Okay.
I go somewhere else. There are very few guys that I've had more enjoyment watching than Logan Gilbert to start the year. And I'm going to go with
Wow.
Logan Gilbert right
You
now.
just sold the draft.
I don't think I sold the
Thank
draft,
you.
man.
Thank you to all the listeners. It was it took a lot out of me,
How did I
but
sell
I
the draft?
won. It's awesome.
Sorry, real quick. 48 innings, opponents are hitting a buck 52 against him. How did I
There,
sell the draft?
there are so many good pitchers available still. Logan Gilbert has been awesome, but to have him at the number 3 pick in the entire draft right now, he's great.
He's a freak, dude.
Yeah, he's been awesome. I'm not debating what he's done so far, but this high, I'm about to rattle off some names where you're gonna be like, ah, damn it.
Whatever. I mean,
Respectfully for Logan Gilbert, I mean, he has been awesome. I'm not trying to take that away, but there are some names here that I'm going to go over, and you're going to be like, oh shit, well, I lost.
okay, so this year opponents are hitting a buck 67 against his four seamer, 150 against his slider, buck 67 against his cutter. He's throwing his splitter 15% of the time. Opponents are hitting 053 against it with 14 punch outs. They're 1 for 20 with 14 Ks against it. Or 1 for 19 with 14 Ks.
It's all
It's
good and
hard to-
dandy. That's all good and dandy, but like Jack Flaherty has a better expected ERA than he does. I mean,
Okay,
it's at
whatever.
3.14. He's a great pitcher. There's no doubt about it. But I wasn't even sure he was going to get drafted. But I know he's got
All right.
that 1.69 ERA. I know he's been great, but he ain't striking out 10 per 9. He's also got 2.5 walks per 9.
Opponents are hitting a
Doesn't
buck 50 against him.
I'm just saying these
And I know he's going to be on the hill. That's the thing.
That's
I know
another
he's
good
going to
point.
be 7.
Yeah, no, the innings is where he can dominate. I mean, he's got 48 innings. I'm looking at these leaderboards right now. Like there's only a few on top of him. And he has been great. But would I have picked him there? Absolutely not.
Okay, so
Respectfully.
go ahead. You got 2 picks in a row.
Well, I was going to go, I thought you were going to go with Ranger. So I'll take Ranger. Thank you. Ranger Suarez is arguably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now, and you can make a very, very sound argument that he's been better than Tarek Skubal. He's got a better ERA, 1.72 compared to Skubal at 1.90. He's also pitched 5 more innings, and if we're going off record, right, you're talking about Tarek Skubal 4-0. How about 6-0 for our guy Ranger Suarez? Tarek Skubal, tons of strikeouts, right? That's where he beats Ranger. No walks ever from Skubal. That's why he's so elite. Well, Ranger walks 1.15 guys per 9. Skubal's at 1.27. But what's my favorite thing about Ranger? The 58% ground ball rate with one of the lowest hard hit rates in all of Major League Baseball. So if you're facing Ranger Suarez, you're not going to be able to hit the ball in the air, and you're not going to be able to hit the ball hard. That's what every hitter is taught to do in order to succeed. You can't do that against Ranger, so I'm going to pick him. And right off the bat, I got 2 Phillies.
Yep.
For my next pick, I'm going to head to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the horse.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow, you're on my team. 50 innings so far. He's thrown 8 starts, 8 of them quality. We're talking about strikeouts, strikes out more people than Tarek Skubal, 2.70 ERA, which isn't among the guys who have an ERA below 2, but he is 5th in expected ERA. He has one of the best fielding independent pitching statistics. He's in FIP, 2.46, xFIP, 2.56, one of the league leaders in WAR. And what I think, and the odds think as well, the leader to win the Cy Young in the National League right now. Yeah, I'll take Glasnow, Ranger, and Wheeler. Good luck. Hey, good luck, Jack.
Okay.
Good luck.
I counter you.
Okay.
I counter you with Dylan Cease.
Yeah,
now.
you just keep losing. I mean, this is one of the worst drafts I've ever heard in my entire
I just
life.
don't think it's one of the worst drafts you've ever seen.
I mean, it's a
Cease's
terrible
K
draft.
numbers, Cease's K rates are actually lower than you typically see them at. But what he's doing is unfathomable. He leads qualified starters in batting average against by 12 points. He's always going to walk people, but it doesn't really matter when opponents are hitting a buck 40 against you through 42 and a third innings. So give me Dylan Cease for the fact that nobody's getting a base hit against me. All right. And then I go to the rookie.
So you like the guy who just walks everybody, 3 walks per 9. So now you're on the Dylan Cease train.
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
So
now
I'm going to
you're
go to a
all right.
guy that doesn't. I'm going to go to a guy that doesn't walk anyone.
Before
here.
you move on, just so everybody knows, he is currently 28th in expected ERA. I mean, the underlying numbers look good. Dylan Cease is obviously awesome. I just wouldn't have picked him right now.
Whatever. I'm
Whatever.
going to go to a guy that doesn't walk anyone.
Okay.
Jared Jones. I'm going with the rookie here.
Damn. Okay. All right. I don't have anything
and
to say.
you're
to
not
that.
even roasting that pick right now.
That's a damn good pick. I mean, I'm watching the guy falling in love. What else am I supposed to do? You turn on Jared Jones, it's like I'm just watching Strider. That's just what it feels like. And without Strider, he's like the Strider. So I can't. I like that pick more than Cease.
Okay. And he does it in a different way. Like Strider is so lower body oriented and he explodes off that back leg because he's got huge legs. Jones is a small, skinny guy, man, that just generates tilt, and it feels like nobody can ever get on top of his fastball. Like a couple have been clipped at this point. Okay. Not the end of the world. Jared Jones at this point is 52 punch outs and 5 walks in 41 innings. 52 and 5. And when you look at the whip leaderboards, walks and hits per innings pitched, Jared Jones is third in all of baseball. Ranger Suarez, Tarek Skubal, Jared Jones. Okay? Give me Jared Jones.
Yeah, that's a good pick. You saved yourself with that one. I like that one. I was going to try and see if I could get it with my 5th pick, but that's a good pick.
You've got 2 more starting pitcher spots.
Perfect. So, I can't believe you let this guy fall. That's why I was surprised with Cease. Sure. I'll take Corbin Burns.
Okay.
Sure. 41 innings. I know the strikeouts haven't been there, but he's not walking a soul. 2.61 ERA, 2.93 expected, which is elite. It's one of the best in baseball. It's actually 14th in Major League Baseball. XFIP looks good. WAR. I mean, Corbin Burns still has the best pitch in Major League Baseball by run value with the cutter. And the more he's pitching in Baltimore, the more he's getting acclimated with Adley Rutschman and that ballpark, which is going to help him as well. He could definitely win the Cy Young. He is one of the leaders, according to BetMGM and the odds. So right now, I have 2 front runners in Cy Young in both leagues everywhere. For my 5th pick, I really wanted to get Jones. So now I'm going to have to go a different direction. Should I make it like kind of fair and just take Erick Fedde?
Sure, go ahead.
No, let me excuse me. Let me get down to business here. I'm going to take the guy who is probably has the best command in Major League Baseball. And for some reason you picked his teammate.
Yeah.
Give me George Kirby. Okay. Thanking you. 38 innings, 10 strikeouts per 9, 0.94 walks per 9. You just don't see that. You just don't see that ever. Like the elite walk guys, Ranger Suarez, Jared Jones over 1, George Kirby being under 1 is just absurd, which gives him a 2.87 expected ERA, 2.09 FIP, 3.12 xFIP, one of the league leaders in WAR. He just hasn't been able to accumulate enough because he's only thrown again 38 innings. But he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I will gladly take George Kirby on the Seattle Mariners. And that's a win for me. Oh, no, but we have bullpens now. Maybe you can get a lead here.
Yeah, I got to go somewhere with this 5th starter. I don't know where I'm going with this 5th starter, but
then, yeah, at least you get the 5th starter and you get a bullpen arm first.
Yeah, but like I'm not going with Rodel Blanco. I can't do that.
I mean,
I'm not going with Hunter Green. I'm not going with Crochet.
There's a couple of really, really good pitchers still on the board.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one here.
Okay.
I'm really buying the Freddie Peralta shit.
I mean, yeah, how could you not? That was another guy that I really wanted to take.
I'm doing it. I have to. Freddie is limiting opponents to a batting average against, I think, under $180. He doesn't beat himself, and I know he had like a walk spell. I think he might have walked 5 in one outing. I'll pull up the game log for Freddie because it's kind of unique as we stand right here. So Freddie walked 5, and then he walked 6 right after the fact. So on May 5th, he walked 6 in 5 innings. On April 25th, he walked 5 in 4 2/3. Before that, 6 innings, 1 walk, 5 2/3, 1 walk, 6 innings, 11 Ks, no walks, 6 innings, 2 walks. And then the start sprinkled in was 5 1/3, no walks. I'm betting on him having those blips and not going back to him again.
Yeah.
Because there's really no hitters that are killing Freddie Peralta at this point. Season high in hits against him in a given outing is 5. I will gladly take that.
Great pick. Great pick. Yeah. On the outside looking in. A couple other guys that I wanted to mention are definitely on my big board. I just didn't end up drafting them. Both the Red Sox hurlers, Cutter Crawford, Tanner Houck, wanted to grab him. Shota Imanaga, obviously, wanted to grab him. Why didn't you grab Shota? Because arguably he's been better than everybody so far, or at least he's on the same path as all these guys. I personally didn't pick him just because I've seen the rest of these guys do it time and time again.
Yeah.
That's why Jared Jones was on mine, but Shota was as well, but I just didn't end up picking them. So why didn't Shota make your team?
Same reason Assad didn't make my team, and that's 1 and 2 in the National League in ERA. Shota and Assad, it's tough because when I think about getting through the next 3 months, it's hard to think about a guy that sits 91, 92 with his heater being that guy. Like Shota, I have no idea if the blow up start is coming, but I feel better about the 5 guys that I picked not having the blow up start. I don't know. There's something about stuff reigning supreme, and maybe that's a fault that I've got. And I mean, we just talked about it on yesterday's show, like how much I freaking love Javier Assad.
Yeah.
And hey, like, why am I not leaning into that right now? Hey, why am I not leaning into Shota? I love what those guys are doing. I'm going to appreciate and like oogle at every time they take the ball. But at the end of the day, like, I'd rather trust the guy that has 98.
Yeah, me too. I think we're both what Tyler Glasnow said. We're radar sluts.
We are radar sluts.
I'm fine being called a radar slut. I think it actually fits.
Speaking of which,
It's good.
reliever 1 off the board here.
Go ahead.
There are a lot of great closers so far.
So many good ones.
But I'm going to go with the king of the radar gun right now.
Clay Holmes?
Mason Miller.
Yeah.
Mason Miller is my top reliever off the board here. Mason Miller in 12 appearances has 8 saves. In 14 and a third, he struck out 29 and walked 4. 29, and he has walked 4. Opponents are hitting $140 against Mason Miller at this point. Do you have the pitch-by-pitch numbers on him? I'll pull them up real quick.
I mean, I can pull him up, but...
Mason Miller,
Savant. Yeah, I got him right here.
Okay.
I mean, he averages 100.7 miles an hour, and opponents are hitting 185 against his four-seamer, whiffing at a 48.6% rate. That is so absurd, I can't even put it into words. Slider, averages 87. He's a 2-pitch guy. He's only thrown 2 changeups all year. 2-pitch guy, 4-seam slider. Slider throws at 87.4. Opponents are hitting 087 against it with a 48.6% whiff rate. He has 2 pitches, he only throws 2, and both of them, guys are swinging and missing half the time. His 1.26 ERA is incredible, right? Expected ERA 0.80. I think he has a negative FIP. He's reliever number 1 right now. Yeah, he has a negative 0.05 whip or FIP. I don't even know how that's possible.
There we go. Edwin Diaz had a negative FIP for a minute.
Yeah, it's like you have to throw like a no-hitter every single time you go on the mound with multiple strikeouts.
With punch-outs.
Yeah, he's on another level. So that's a great pick.
Okay, you got 2 relievers, and then I get the scraps.
This is really tough. Really tough. One guy that I made a flaming hot take for at the beginning of the season, which I didn't fully believe, but I thought it was worthy of throwing it out there. That I thought Evan Phillips had a shot of breaking K-Rod's saves record because there was going to be so many save opportunities and because he's a phenomenal reliever. And I'm taking him because he's doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. He's got 8 saves.
You just punted the draft.
No, I didn't. Evan Phillips, the closer for the Dodgers. He's going to get some likes on here. 0.66 ERA, 1.55 FIP, tons of strikeouts. I mean, 0.66 ERA. Yeah, I'm going to take him. Give me Evan Phillips. When the Dodgers have a lead, the door's closed.
All right.
And for reliever number 2, I'm battling between 2 guys. And I'm not going to mention the other guy because I'm going to take one of them. I'll take Emmanuel Clase. He
Damn
looks
it.
like he's back.
Mm.
He looks like he's back. 10 saves, 17 innings, 0.52 walks per 9. That's where it is. Command is back. So when he's in the zone, he's one of the most unhittable pitchers in Major League Baseball with the cutter upwards of 90 or 98 miles an hour, like a 0.52 ERA, 1.25 FIP. He's tied for the league lead in WAR among relievers not named Mason Miller. I will take Emmanuel Clase, please. Thank you.
Hey, I'm
There's
not going
one
Clay
name.
Holmes.
If you don't take this guy, I really want to talk about him. And I don't think you are, but I legitimately almost took him.
I'm not going Clay Holmes.
It's fine. I mean, Clay Holmes is worthy of getting drafted, but I understand not taking him.
I'm not going Ryan Helsley.
Okay. That's a guy who's definitely on the board, but okay.
And I'm not going Edwin Diaz.
Okay.
I'm going to a guy that only has 3 appearances so far, but he's healthy. And again, we're trying to get through the All-Star break.
Okay.
Joan Duran.
You might have won the reliever part of this draft.
Yeah. Joan Duran has appeared in 3 games. He's 2 for 2 in his save opportunities. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 5 Ks, no walks. He
He's
looks healthy as shit. And give me a healthy Duran in my pen.
Yeah. So go through your team again for everybody listening. And then for those react on YouTube, let us know who you think won. And then we're obviously going to post the graphic on Instagram and on Twitter for everybody to vote and tell people who they think won.
Do you have your team written down? Because I can go through your team too.
Yeah, go ahead. Go through both of them.
Okay, so Peter's got Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Tyler Glasnow, Corbin Burns, George Kirby.
Yeah.
And his bullpen is Evan Phillips and Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah, we'll take that.
My staff is Tarek Skubal, Logan Gilbert, Dylan Cease, Jared Jones, Freddie Peralta,
You're
Mason
okay.
Miller, and Joan Duran.
You lost.
Tonally, what did I do? What did I do tonally? Tell me.
You reading that, you're like, my team is
My team is
just kind of trying to slide through it. Just be like,
Logan Gilbert.
Logan Gilbert with I mean, I hope Logan Gilbert actually dominates, so this could be a bit. I wanted to talk about a few relievers that we didn't draft.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing what Kirby Yates is doing with Texas?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's Kirby Yates.
I know.
That's my thing.
But I wanted to bring him up because we remember Kirby Yates with San Diego. There was a little section there where he was straight up unhittable, and he looks exactly like he used to. He hasn't allowed a run yet in 14 innings, and he's got 5 saves. I really wanted to draft. I know, but I'm just saying right now, if you drafted him, I wouldn't think that that was a bad pick because of how good he was. I also kind of, for the bit, wanted to go just Jojo Romero and Andrew Kittredge just to get all my holds settled. But they both have been awesome. I think Justin Slayton of the Red Sox has been unhittable. Obviously, you got Clay Holmes. Jeff Hoffman is still doing his thing for Philly. He's been awesome. And shout out Hunter Harvey of the Nationals.
Yeah.
2.45 ERA, 18 innings. Doesn't have a save, but still, he's been awesome. So those are a lot of guys that I wanted to shine flowers on.
Can I shout out Urseg too? I think Lucas Urseg deserves some shine.
Definitely. Well, he gave up a run to the Marlins, so he left my big board.
Welcome to the O Show, man. Can we start calling Oakland the O Show?
I like that.
Okay.
I like that a lot. The O
Cool.
Show.
Do the merch thing. Yeah, man.
Adrian Morejon. There were so many relievers to pick. But I think
John Kruk calls him More John.
More John. All right, folks, that'll do it for this episode of the Just Baseball Show. Make sure to get your Just Baseball merch. Of course, I'm wearing my hat. Jack, do you got to exit the screen to go get your hat? Because I know you're not wearing baseball merch, you piece of shit. Don't be like Jack. Get your Just Baseball merch in the episode description. Tons of stuff. Let us know. I've gotten a lot of DMs, which I really, really appreciate from people saying what they like in the merch store. And we're trying to get the rope hats. Look at Jack. Look at that. Get that sweatshirt and more in our merch store. And again, the best way to support this podcast without spending a dime, rate and review. 5 stars, whether it be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and hitting that big red subscribe button on YouTube for all of our free content episodes every single weekday here on the Just Baseball Show. For Jack McMullen, I am Peter Apple. We'll see you tomorrow, obviously. And with that, thank you, everybody.